Hello, and thanks for stopping by. I wanted to do some further testing on the probe for the BDST, and I thought I'd show you exactly how I've been going about it and what I found during today's tests. Now, today, what I did is I took and hooked up a simple AM plus transmitter um, and fed it with a 1,000 cycle tone. And then I took and adjusted everything to give it a waveform that looks like this. It's, I'd say, probably 95% modulated, and it sounded, crisp and clean over a radio. And then I started with the probe hooked up to an oscilloscope to see what was coming through. Now, first I took and right at the antenna connection for the first test point, I took and probed, and this was the waveform that I got on the oscilloscope, which you can see the modulation there, but there's also a lot of crazy little peaks there or whatever, which, okay, some of that's going to be from the diode rectification in the probe and stuff. But then I took and went back and probed at this point, just after the uh, modulator oscillator section before the RF amplifier. And this is the signal I got, which, it's a lot cleaner. So evidently some of that, the stronger signal was probably overloading the probe a little bit in the first picture there, and that's why it looks so bad. But this you can see, there's still, the RF in there plus the modulation. Then I got to thinking that really what I want to know is inside the BDST itself, right before it gets amplified. So, like right before the JFET, what is it seeing there? What does the signal look like when it reaches that point after it's gone through the connection, the PCB, the input capacitor and stuff up to that point? And okay, this was our original BDS, or the circuit we've been testing with the 68K resistors in there. And this is what the signal looked like coming into the JFET. Which there again, you can take and see you can see the modulation in there, but there's also those peaks on top of every one of the thing, and it's not, it looks nowhere near like an even sine wave. So I started thinking the 68K resistor and that 1 nanofarad capacitor make up a low pass filter, and if you take and do the calculations, that low pass filter is only around a little over 2,000 cycles, a little over 2 kilohertz. So that's really, letting a lot of the bass through, but not letting a lot of the treble through. So I took and did some further calculations and came up with, to allow to have the cutoff for the low pass filter at 10 kilohertz. To let everything under 10 kilohertz pass through pretty much undetected. The resistor should have been 16K. So I put 16K resistors in the probe, and this is the signal that I got, which you can see looks a lot more like a sine wave. It's a lot more even The bottom gaps and the top gaps are a lot more even. There again, you still have those peaks, which I'm sure those peaks are from the diode rectification of the RF, inside the probe. And so then I did some testing, and there's going to be a short video in here on what the probe sounds like now with this modification.
District football field from April 30th to May 3rd of next year, along with a mobile education center. Titanic will be one of just 35 states allowed to host the wall next year.
Organizations who've stepped forward with donations already. The cost to host the wall is $10,000, and the other costs associated with it, $15,000 to be able to bring the wall here.
The Wall That Heals honors the more than 3 million Americans who served in the U.S. Armed Forces in the Vietnam War and bears the names of more than 58,000 men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in Vietnam. In order to offer your assistance, you can contact the funeral home at 570-836-3321.
So as you can hear, that doesn't sound too awful bad. That sounds about the same as my T4 does anyway, probing those same points on that particular radio. So as of right now, it looks like this is what we're going to be using for a circuit for the probe. I'm still going to, do some more testing. And another thing I want to do is find out on the BDST itself, the volume control is way too sensitive. As soon as you take and crack it off the lowest setting or whatever, it starts blasting. So may have to go for a lot lower value of volume control or something there to take it more uniform on a low to high basis. But anyway, just thought I'd bring you along, let you see what I've been up to today and how things are progressing. Thanks for stopping by, and have a nice day.